So, after about, what has it been, since mid-February? After about 4 months of searching for Stacey, finding her, helping her running away, disappearing, finding her again, back and forth all the way across the country from Washington State, went up there twice, now in San Diego. I think I'm going to give up for now. I know a lot of you said in the comments you should give up. You're right, I should. I'm going to, because at this point, one, it's not been effective. I mean, you can't help somebody that doesn't want to be helped. And she would rather just be a junkie on the street and meth whore around than, face her problems and be a responsible mother. I mean, she left in February, 4 months ago. She abandoned her kid, her 10-year-old. At the time, he was 9. Just, pawned him off on his grandparents, because her parents take care of the kid and her, and have for the last 10 years, because she can't work or won't work. And these parents that she hates so much and says that how abusive they are and how terrible they are, yet they completely they support her and her kid, and they're not that bad. She lies. So, if she wants to be a junkie, wander the street, hop from hotel to hotel with random strangers, crawl into homeless guys' tents, have sex with junkies underneath bridges, literally, homeless junkies, for a place to stay. If she wants to do that type of shit, then I guess I just let her, because, well, one, why would I want her, right? Why would I want to be with somebody like that? Or why would I want anybody in my life like that? She lies, she cheats, she steals. Typical junkie behavior. And, some people are like, well, didn't you know this? Oops, ahead of time. And I knew she was on methadone for 10 years since she had her kid. I guess she started doing heroin when she was like, in her teens, and stopped doing it when she got knocked up by some junkie dude, in her mid-20s, and then got on methadone. And she's been on methadone for 10 years, and now she's on meth. So, I wasn't quite aware of all this history when we got together, but I am now. But, either way, I've never really seen anybody like full-blown drug addiction like this. I mean, like, even a year ago, she would have never even associated with the people that she, talked to. She used to be, pride herself on that. She had been abstinent sexually for 8 years, right, until I came along. Now she's had sex with more people in, like, the last 2 months than she's probably had in her entire fucking life. So it's like, it's kind of gross, but it's like, that's not her. But I don't go with this thing where people are like, oh, it's just the drugs, because it is the drugs, but at the same time, it's also the person, because I was addicted to drugs a couple times. I struggled, and you know what? Never was blowing people, never had, shit like that, and, I know other people that have been, strung out in drugs and never really stooped to that level, but she does. And it sucks that she abandoned her kid, too. She's talked to him once in 4 months. She's talked to him one time on his birthday, and that's because I made her call him. And that's pretty sad. That's pretty sad when you give up the things that you love most in your life, or that you should love most in your life, your kid. You won't even talk to him or see him for 4 months. Why? To run away and be a meth whore on the streets and shoot up meth? That's pretty fucking sad. Pretty fucking sad. Clearly you're mentally ill if you do that, right? Who the fuck does that? She does. But, yeah, I've done everything I could. I feel bad for her kid, but, I've went up there twice. Now she's down fucking here, and I can't get her to go home. And that sucks, because I can't sleep at night. It's one thing if she's in Washington doing this shit, but if she's like, which she was, like, literally 3 blocks from my house under a bridge, blowing and fucking this junkie, homeless guy for meth and a place to stay. That makes me fucking mad, and it makes it hard for me to sleep at night, knowing what she's doing, knowing that she's putting herself in a great amount of danger. San Diego's no joke. It's not all beaches and palm trees out here. There's a major drug problem out here, and there are a lot of, let's say, seedy characters, and she's a good-looking girl. She's pretty. She's just very naive, too, and she'll go into anybody's hotel room, strangers' hotel rooms, jump into strangers' cars, crawl into strangers' tents. She just, doesn't give a fuck. And like she said to her, she told me once, she goes, did you ever think that I may want to die? I said, yeah, maybe, because it's fucking what's gonna happen if you stay out here and keep doing this shit. But, I've spent a couple $1,000s since, she popped up in San Diego about 2 months ago. Couple $1,000 on hotels, car rentals in Washington, shit, everything. Bought her food, bought her clothes, bought her makeup, put her in hotels. I mean, that shit ain't cheap. That shit adds up, I mean, probably a couple thousand. Oops. And, yeah, that's it. I mean, I've exhausted everything, I've put my life on hold basically since mid-February, to try to help her, find her. And the fucked up thing is, it's like, if she just would call and keep in touch with people like myself or her parents, and say every few days, yeah, I'm okay, that would be 80% of this would go away. Like, all this money that I spent, most of that wouldn't have been spent if I would have known she was okay. But she just, and she knows that. I mean, I tell her that, and I've given her 3 phones. She loses them all, leaves them somewhere, throws them away. Who knows? Maybe she sells them for fucking drugs. I don't know. But they're all gone. And I've tried to hand her more phones, and she just doesn't want them, because then she's got to be responsible and got to check in with people. Now she can just pretend like, oh, I don't have a phone. She just basically doesn't want to be found. She doesn't want to be talked to, doesn't want to be told what to do, doesn't want to feel obligated to even talk to her own kid, her own 10-year-old. I mean, what the fuck? And she's like, oh, he'll be fine. He's with my grandparents. He's with my parents. And you know what? She's lucky. That kid's lucky that they're fucking really cool. She comes from a rich home, It's not like she's had this traumatic childhood where she lies and tells everybody that she did. She didn't. She's a rich girl. She got bored. Started doing drugs when she was a teenager. Started slamming heroin because she thought it was cool. Got strung out on drugs and has been ever since, whether it's heroin or methadone or now meth. That's just, that's who she is, and that's what she does. And, it's her kid is lucky, though, that because her Stacey's parents are fucking taking care of the kid. He's spoiled, just like she was. Live in a rich white part of town, like a 5-bedroom house. They have 3 bathrooms. Stacey took over 2 of them, so both her parents and the kid have to share 1 bathroom because she took over 2 of them. And claimed them hers. Trashed their house. Their house looked like a hoarder's place. It was just fucking shit everywhere. They even bought her a trailer to put her shit in, because she had so much shit that she gets from thrift stores and stuff, like, that they had to get her a separate trailer in this giant ass house. She couldn't even just keep it. Like, she has a whole basement to herself, and it's just not enough. I mean, she just, I don't know. I mean, she's always been a little bit disrespectful and a little inconsiderate and self-centered, and but now that she's shooting meth, holy shit, it's like that times 10. It's like she really, literally doesn't care for anybody but herself. That's it. Not her son, not me. She doesn't care that we spend all this time, money, and effort, and concern, and worry, and suffer. I mean, I've probably spent a couple 100 hours in the last 4 months driving around looking for her, when all of that could have been avoided if she simply would just text me or her parents and say she's okay. So you would think, why wouldn't somebody do that? Why wouldn't somebody just, knowing how much money and effort and time you're spending on them, when they could just simply pick up a phone and text you and say, I'm okay? Why would somebody not do that? It's so simple. It'd take her no effort. I've given her 3 phones. She doesn't, simple, I mean, the obvious reason is, 1, A, she doesn't care, or 2, she wants me to, or B, she wants you to suffer. She wants me to suffer and waste my time and money. Maybe it makes her feel important. Maybe she's trying to it's payback for something, for hurting her when we were together. I don't know. But the fact is, either way, it's not fucking cool and it's not acceptable. I mean, she even considers herself and refers to herself as an adult toddler, which is 100% accurate. Because she is. What are toddlers? Toddlers are inconsiderate, self-centered, disrespectful, only think about themselves, very selfish, and that's exactly what she is. To the T. Obviously she has mental illnesses, right? Nobody would want to suck dick on the street, right? Unless they're kind of mentally ill for drugs. So clearly there's problems there, but it's something weird. It's like there's something in her brain that doesn't allow her to empathize and think to herself, oh, I'm not going to do this, because if somebody did this to me, I wouldn't like it and it would hurt. I'd be hurt by this, so I'm not going to do this to this person because I care about them and I wouldn't want them to do it to me. That logic, out the window. That doesn't make any sense to her. And a drug addict, their logic doesn't make any sense either way, because the drug addict's only real logic, and they will lie and twist things, and they will make up the most absurd excuses and rationals in order to get drugs and stay high. And like the shit that she says, like, she blames everybody for her problems but herself. Everybody for her problems. Like, it's my fault she's a junkie. It's my fault she's, this and that. It's her parents' fault. You know whose fault it never is? Hers. Never her fault. Everything has to be somebody else's fault but hers. And to the, to the average person just looking at the situation, you'd be like, you're a fucking junkie. You need fucking help. That's your main problem. She'll never admit to it. The drugs are never a problem. To her, the drugs are just like something she does casually. It's like, wait a minute, you don't slam meth regularly and say that that's fucking casual drug use, and that hasn't affected you and isn't responsible for you sucking dick on the street. It is. 100% it is. She would never have done this a year ago. So obviously it isn't. She says, oh, well, a year ago is when I met you and you did. So she blames me for it, and she blames me for her life being in shambles and her being an emotional basket case and a whore. Sorry, it doesn't work like that. I've broken a lot of hearts, and I've had some bad relationships before. None of them ended up meth whores. So, got to find another excuse for that one. But yeah, that's it. I mean, it doesn't help. I'm going in circles. I'm wasting my money, my time. I've wasted 4 months of my life chasing her around. It's ridiculous. She's not going to change, and she's going to end up dead. I can't believe she already hasn't been raped and robbed and beaten or killed. Especially when you live this close to the Mexican border. People get kidnapped all the time here, especially cute, attractive blonde women. I guess they have a high dollar for them in Tijuana, you know. But yeah, I mean, it's not uncommon, actually. You know, I joke, but it's actually pretty scary because it does happen. And it's only a matter of time before it happens to her. You know, and she's real pretty. I mean, she's a very pretty woman, and she's not going to be for much longer. I mean, this shooting meth and living on the streets takes its toll. I mean, already just looking at her, I mean, her hair's falling out. She's like, has half of her hair is getting thin. Hands are swollen, feet are swollen. She's got sores on her now. It's kind of gross, and you know, it's within a couple of years she's gonna be one of those, you know, raggedy old beat up looking women, old tweakers walking around talking to themselves and shit, you know, screaming at cars and shit. That's gonna be her in a couple of years, and it's sad. I mean, I thought I could try to prevent that. I thought I could be there for her. I thought I could, you know, help point out these things to her, and I've tried everything. I mean, I've tried, you know, being loving, tried being supportive, tried helping her financially, everything, you know. And so when people say, oh, dude, you're such a dick for making a video like this, you know what? I know it's low class, and I know it is kind of fucking shitty to air people's personal business. But the thing is, I can't talk to her. This is the only way I know how to communicate to her. This is the only way I can say something that I want to say to her, and unless she calls me, which she does sometimes she doesn't, you know. And it's you know, it's hard, but yeah. So, and you know what? She kind of needs to hear this. She kind of needs to see this, because nothing else worked. Maybe some embarrassment and humiliation might actually work. Maybe that'll get her to get her shit together, because then I'll remove all these videos. Maybe it'll get her to get really pissed off and call me. You know, what's not going to hurt anything. I mean, the people that are going to watch this, very few of them are actually going to even know who she is, or know her personally. So, whatever. And the people that do know her personally already know what's going on. So, it really is just kind of a, you know, to kind of jab at her to get her to either wake up, or even just to get her to get pissed off and call. One of the two. But, you know, it's sad. But this is also can be a reminder for her, as a documentation of, I mean, all the time and money and effort I spent. And all these videos, this is a 13-minute video all in fast forward of me driving around. This was all done in 1 week, guys. 1 week. All right, she's been missing for 4 months. So do the math there. I mean, this video would be hours long, even in fast motion. So hopefully, Stacey, I love you and I care about you, but this is going to come to an end, and it's going to come to an end now. I'm done searching. I'm done letting you use me and take advantage of me, and it's clearly you don't care. So good luck. Bye-bye.